Hey guys, Alicia here, and summer is here. Are you ready for summer? I don't know if I am. It's really warm in my office, and I'm putting extra powder on my face to try to not be shiny. And I want to put my hair down, so my hair is down even though I'm warm. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is it's summer, and I thought it would just be really fun to share with you a few tips about working at home during the summer, because I've been doing this for many summers. This is probably like my 8th summer working from home, almost full time. And so I just thought it would be fun to share some tips with you, and I was going to start with 3, and I thought of 10. So this is 10 tips for you on working from home during the summer, still being productive, not going crazy, not driving your family crazy, still being productive, everybody being happy. Okay, the first one is to establish a daily routine. Now, in the summer, it will feel like you establish a routine just to break it, but I promise it is still helpful if your kids know what you're doing on like an off day or a down day or the day that you get back from camping or whatever it is. And and even if then when you break the rule or whatever, you give them rules and you break them, then they'll feel like you gave them something instead of assuming they can watch TV all day. So for my kids, our rough schedule is that from 9 to noon, there's no screen time, and it's outdoors, Legos, play with the ball, run around the house, whatever they want to do, something active or creative. And then I found sometimes in the course of the summer, they'll get so into something, they'll create robots out of boxes or something, they'll get so into it, and they'll just keep going into the afternoon, and they'll just get absorbed into their world. Or we'll play outside or whatever it is. And then we do lunch, and in the afternoon is quiet time, nap time. I have one that still naps, and he needs his nap, and so he's going to take a nap, and then everybody else, I'm very gracious and say, you do not have to nap, but you have to be quiet. It is quiet time. So from roughly 1 to 4, we do quiet time, and then we clean up the house, get ready for, dad to get home from work, think about dinner, think about the evening. But I found that gives me a good routine, and I would encourage you, even if you only do it a few days, like maybe you take an all-day trip to the zoo or morning trip to the park. I love morning trips to the park and picnic. And for me, I have one that still naps in the afternoon, so we try to mostly do things that are still in the morning, and maybe it pushes back the nap some, but not too much. But whatever it is, especially if you have older kids, it's helpful to tell them so they know what to expect. But also with younger kids, they can really sense the routine, and the younger they are, the more you might want to have cues, like you get out their blanket. Now, mine loves his winter blanket, and I got him a summer blanket that's nice and thin, and he does not want it. He wants the thick, fluffy winter blanket. But that's good. That blanket is a cue for him that he's going to get all snuggly and sleepy. But whatever cues you can have for younger kids to help just, we're putting the toys away, or we're getting this animal out because it's almost, time to get quiet. Whatever it is, the activities, the things that will help cue them to like doing that transition. And if you have that for your default day, then that will help them too with the days that are different. And most importantly, the days that you do have a normal schedule, establishing that schedule will help you to be able to take advantage of the nap time or the different times when you're trying to get your work in. Okay, second tip. This is potentially my favoritist one. I want to star it. I don't know. Get a babysitter. Okay, I know we try to not spend money just in order to make money, and so it's easy to want to go without a babysitter at all. In the summer, ask your friends, ask around. I have found that every summer I have been able to find somebody's daughter somewhere between the age of 12 and 18, usually 14, and the younger they are, the cheaper they are, because $8 means more to them than the kids that are older that are buying gas and whatever. I go and get my friend's daughter 1 or 2 mornings a week in the summer and take her home, and the kids don't mind riding in the car. In the morning my husband's still here, and then the evening I just pile them all up and say, we're taking them home, and they're like, okay. So, and sometimes we go to the library afterward, right? So get a babysitter. I encourage you to think about it. It can totally be worth it, especially if you know that you have that day or two to do whatever you need to do. And I've found if you have a space, hopefully you have your own office. I totally understand if you don't. I finally just kicked the crib out of mine, so I finally just have my own real office, and it's totally worth getting those 2 kids to share a room together. But the younger one likes it because he can get up out of his toddler bed when he wakes up and play in his room, and he loves it. Anyways, I highly encourage you to just think about that. And I have, like, they're downstairs right now, hopefully not being too loud. I try to lock the door when I start a video, which I didn't, so hopefully no one will come knock. But yeah, just 1 or 2 days a week. Like, if they're younger, you can pay them $5 to $8 an hour potentially, and then have them here, and they don't have to be old enough that you feel like you need to be able to leave. But then that just gives you some time that you know that you can get stuff done. And that's where it's good to batch your tasks, or just think about, have a list of, well, I'll get to that, but just have tasks that you need to do when you are totally kid-free, and just think about looking at your week and, you know, what it could be for you to be able to get those things done. And then, like right now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a video this afternoon. I thought, oh, wait, it's summer. Today's my day. I need to put my hair down, put a nice shirt on, and make my outline, and get this in, because I want to get you guys a video this week. Well, 2, but I've already got 1, so I'm recording this one. This one's going to be like live. I'm recording it. We're going to put it up tomorrow. Okay, next, number 3, wake up early. This is a newer one for me, but I've been reading and watching and becoming convinced, and I've tried this some in the last couple of weeks. And of course, as soon as you try anything new like that, things start to wreck it, right? But I highly recommend trying it. I don't recommend suddenly trying to wake up at 5 instead of 7. What I started doing was each day setting it, my alarm 15 minutes earlier, or like for a couple of days setting it for 6:45, and then setting it for 6:30 the next couple of days, and 6:15 the next couple of days, and kind of working toward it. And even if you don't suddenly have a whole chunk of an hour and a half, for me, I don't know, depends on what age your kids are, it can be, I know from talking to moms, it always seems like whenever you wake up earlier, your children wake up earlier. Even if you think you were totally quiet, it's like they sense that you're awake. So you're going to have to figure out if you think this is worth trying for your kids. But my kids are at the point where I can wake up earlier for them. My oldest is actually the main one that wakes up. And I was just telling him, some days I'll come eat breakfast with him. Sometimes I'll stay in bed with Dad. And some days I might go into my office and be like, I'm not here yet. Don't talk to me yet. So he's as long as he gets time with me, he's okay with like, oh, it's not time right now. I'm having my morning quiet time, right? But baby and toddler, if you have those age kids, wear them out in the summer. Don't try to put them to bed too early. Keep them up a little bit later, unless you want to do the evening time. You got to pick either the evening time or the morning time. And sometimes I have a week where I just do one. Sometimes I get the boys to bed and I'm just super excited about an idea, and I've got into bed and I finally go work on it, and it takes me a couple hours and I stay up late and I think, well, I'm not going to set my alarm for the morning. Don't try to do both. You need your sleep. And if this really works for you in the evening instead of the morning, that's fine. But I would just encourage you, track your time if you haven't done that in a while. Find the time that you are tempted to watch Netflix or read a book or read a magazine or whatever it is, that kind of thing. And if you need a little bit of that, okay, but you set yourself a timer and see if 20 minutes of that can just help you like decompress, like kids are in bed, and then just see if you can switch to an activity like working. And if you're a mom like me, whether it's your work or your side biz, or you've got both like me going on, I love mompreneurs because you have there's like a built-in necessity and passion for it. And so I would encourage you, whatever that is, tap into that and find a way to be creative with it, and then be okay with giving up some of that time that might feel like, oh, I should get to watch Netflix, or I should get to whatever. Like, no, if you're, maintaining a career on the side by doing a job, or if you're doing your own biz and so you're feeling like you're working toward creating life on your own terms, like both very cool things, really tap into the values of why you're doing that. Think of it as something that's like for you, and then use that motivation to replace as much of that Netflix time as you can. That's what I've done. Sometimes my friends ask me how you do what you do, and that's what I do, because even before I started blogging and stuff, I would use my extra time on my part-time job, and I would use it to be learning. I would be learning, AdWords or marketing, or it's Instagram or whatever it is. I would be learning something because I just knew that was investing in me and my future and my family's future, because that was making me more valuable and relevant and marketable in the future. Sometimes I totally just pick up like a book that I don't need to read for any other reason. I'm not really good with fiction. If you have a fiction book you think I should read, send that to me. I have trouble finding fiction and committing to fiction books, but there's definitely like the book that I need to read for some reason, and then the book that I love psychology and history and stuff, that I just pick up and I'm like, I'm just going to read this because I want to. Anyways, that was a long on number 3. Moving on. Okay. Number 4, do a weekly or a daily task list. This is really, I just started doing the weekly review and weekly planning. I got a biz coach, so happy. She's amazing, and she got me doing this, and she's holding me accountable to do this. But even before I started doing this, I think what's really important is that you just have an idea each week or each day, especially in the summer, of the tasks that you need to do. And as I mentioned, like, I would almost separate them out in your task list, which ones can be done with kids around, like you're in the kitchen and you're making a menu and they're playing, and if they interrupt you, it's fine. And then which tasks that you need to do without kids, which would especially potentially be, writing a blog, where if you get interrupted, you just feel like you're not enjoying it as much and it's not gonna work as well or flow because you want to be able to focus on it while you're writing it. I know that's me. I don't like getting interrupted while I'm writing. Whereas if there's a book you need to read, that's different. That's more like you can get interrupted because it's their train of thought that you're following. You're not having to create your own train of thought. And then obviously for me, a big one is video. I've got to be really strategic and either wake up early or take some of that time when I've got a babysitter. A day like today, I'm working my day job all day, but then I'm like, oh man, I gotta take 15 minutes to do that video while the babysitter's still here before I go back to whatever it was I was doing. Gotta take that time. So just batch your tasks and know and think about and pay attention and just be strategic with which kinds of activities you can do when. I got a notebook. I love digital. I do everything digital. But then I've really gone back to a notebook for a list. And random fact, I read that it's more effective for your task list, instead of checking things out, marking them out, to have a little checkbox and then check it. And I found that to be true. So my recommendation, if you're a bullet journal person, you might already know that. I don't know. I keep thinking about trying the bullet journal because I have the different kind of little symbols and stuff. That seems cool. But I make myself a list of tasks and then I check them off, and that's really motivating. And I can look at my list and be like, which ones should I do today? Which ones do I need to do, while the kids are asleep or whatever it is. All right. Number 5, use TV strategically. Okay. This is sorry, I totally have to drink some water. And I haven't learned to edit it yet, so we're totally not editing that out, but someday we'll get to that. We'll get all Amy Landino and we'll do the jump cuts and stuff. Okay. Use TV strategically. I read a whole book about how technology is addictive. It was really interesting. It was called Irresistible by Adam Sadler. Anyways, Irresistible, and the most interesting thing that I got out of that is that what really matters is relationship. The antidote to technology is relationship. So what I want to tell you, don't try to do a tech-free summer. I tried to do a tech-free week for the first week of summer, and it was pretty crazy. That was only because I also tried to potty train at the same time, which I thought would go together well because he wouldn't be watching TV, but it was actually a really bad idea. I mean, it was fun, but I don't recommend it. Anyways, my point is that I'm just going to tell you it's okay for your kids to watch TV. I think you should just be intentional. You should schedule some fun, which is actually point number 10, so we'll get to that. You should schedule some fun, but use the TV and just be strategic. Don't let them watch TV when you're just hanging out in the kitchen and you're working on your menu or, hanging around whatever and you're available. That's a good time. If you're available and hanging out, that's a good time to either do an intentional activity with one of the kids or to just make them get along and be creative without screen time, because you're there to help them get along with each other. You're there to help them work through those stumbling blocks where they keep being creative or they keep playing together well, or they're bored and so you need to talk to them about the whole I always tell my kids you're too blessed to be bored. They look at this house, think about what you've got, go look in the art room, find a couple materials you want to use, tell me what you're missing, right? So just all those coaching opportunities, you get those when you are around, when your kids are just hanging out. So I say, and it takes, that's one of those gray areas, sometimes I do it well, sometimes I don't. That takes some intentionality for sure. It also takes getting enough sleep. When I wake up and I'm tired and I'm just then I'm in survival mode, I'm just yeah, watch TV, whatever, I don't care. But ideally, you're doing something with them, or you're menu planning, but you're helping them to live life and get used to being home with their siblings and sharing their toys and whatever it is. push them outside, see if it works. Sometimes my kids come back in and they get bored or say it's too hot. But sometimes I can just trick them in some way into going outside for a little bit. And sometimes it'll just stick and they'll play out there for hours. Oh, I was going to say that earlier. Same thing. In the evening, if you want to get yourself to do something productive for a little bit, tell yourself you only have to work on it for 10 or 20 minutes, and do that. And then sometimes that's all you need to just, I can watch Netflix, but first I'm going to write something for 20 minutes, or whatever your key activity is that you should do. And sometimes that's all you need to just switch gears and get into it. Same thing with your kids. Use that on your kids, I'm telling you. All you have to do is just be like, oh yeah, could you go put this in the shed for me? Oh, and see if the balls are out there. Or with my kids, I'll be like, hey, go run around the house 3 times. Or just like some specific activity where it's like, go do this thing, and they do it outside, and then they get distracted and they're already outside. Oh, similar. My big boys, sometimes they resist like going to their room, and I'm like, you're not in trouble, just go play in your room. If I tell them to go clean their room, they'll go play in there for an hour or 2. And I don't even care if it's clean, because I don't mind going up at the end and being like, oh, how is the cleaning going? Oh, you still need to do this and that and the other, because I got an hour of them playing in their room by themselves. What's next? Enlist your spouse. Okay, your spouse, close friend, grandma, whoever you have. For my husband, at least like every other weekend, he will take the boys for a couple hours. They'll go to Chick-fil-A for lunch or something. When my kids were younger, sometimes it was the evening. He would go drive the baby around in the car for a little bit, or he would go to some store that was farther away that took a drive. Whatever it is, something that works. I found husbands often prefer to do a task that involves taking kids out of the house. They don't want to stay at the house, but sometimes outside, but especially, or they'll help them wash the car or something, right? That's always fun. But I found I can send them to go do lunch, or Chick-fil-A is just a classic. Go do something, and I can get a couple of hours. He'll do it while the little guy sleeps and take the other ones. Just work that in, like look for opportunities to do that. I don't necessarily do it every week, but that's partly because I've got babysitting, but that's like another tool. So I want you to think about these different strategies and tools that you can pull together to find yourself enough time, and then as you find that time, you need to be strategic about which tasks flow into that time, right? So depending on how my week has been, on a weekend, I've used that time to clean the bathrooms just because it was bothering me, and I needed to, at some point you just need to eat the frog, right? You just need to do it, and so then I felt better. I've used that to exercise, I've used it for self-care, I've used it for my blog. Right now it would be recording a video because it's hard to do enough of that, or it would be writing, or sometimes just sitting down and reading and enjoying the house being quiet. I love music. We always play music, but usually whenever he takes the kids, I turn off everything and I just let the house be quiet. And I know you know what I'm talking about. It's amazing. Okay, so next tip, I didn't number these. Number 7? Yeah, number 7. Get the kids to help clean house. Okay, this is super hard too. And I know it never works totally, but totally use the whole, they ask for something and you're like, yeah, you can do that as soon as this floor is clean. You can do that as soon as the trash is taken out. You can do that, and that works more with older kids. With smaller kids, they can clean up toys. They can help clean up any mess that they helped make. It just takes so much patience for you. And that's just where, if you have a season like this summer where your kids are home from school more, just work on, this is number 8. Okay, we're going into point number 8. Identify what's really important and be realistic. Not my points. I tried to make a list. I'm going to put these in the blog. If you're on YouTube, click over to the blog and I'll have a list of these. But basically, identify what's really important, be realistic, and then accept how long things take, and take the time to let your kids help you with stuff that they should help you with. And that becomes an activity together. One of my goals for this summer is to have my older boys help me cook. And when they were younger, it was, picking up toys. It was so easy to just throw them in the bathtub, throw them in bed, come back downstairs and pick up the toys. But it's so much better if you just stop 20 minutes earlier and hang out with them and sing the silly song and have them pick up the toys and just encourage them. You can never do too much of helping your kids. Just take responsibility for whatever they helped create, and you can talk about whether it was an accident or whether on purpose. It's still just taking responsibility. So as moms, we do too much. I do it, my friends do it, you do it. We all do it. We all do too much, and it's out of love for our families. But I think the summer is a great time to slow down. Okay, so this is the main point of number 8. Identify what's really important. Slow down. Be okay with doing less. Identify the most important activities to do, and then be okay with a slower schedule and a slower pace, and enjoy the fact that your kids are home more, and embrace that opportunity to have them more and to teach them the stuff that you're going to teach them, the stuff that in a couple of years there are some tasks you're doing right now that may or may not pay off, may or may not mean anything. Like, yeah, you just keep plugging away at all the career stuff to see which stuff pays off, but always, always, always take time to build character in your kids, because like in 20 years that's what's going to matter more than like anything else, right? Like who we become as people. Like anyway, soapbox. Number 9, I read this recently. Okay, set phone free time. I'm about to try this, but I'm so sure it's a good idea. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. Set phone free time. And what I saw was somebody interviewed on somebody's podcast. One of their tips was from 3 to 8 they put their phone aside. I wouldn't even make this tech free time for everybody. I would just say like mom's phone goes away. Like I'm gonna put my phone somewhere where I can hear it if it rings, like in the kitchen probably. But then just be present with my kids, and I know they're going to enjoy that. And sometimes I use my Kindle and sometimes I use a book, but my kids know what the Kindle is. So yeah, like I like to read and I end up reading on my phone sometimes, but during that time, it's going to be a book or a Kindle, because my boys know that it's a book, and that I know that my older kids can feel the difference between that and if I'm like on social or on email and they're like talking to me and I'm like kind of listening. I'm like, oh, I need to put my phone down. And I know my kids feel that competition with the phone, right? So, and sometimes, like, I think smartphone can be, like, the most amazing thing that a mom of small kids has, because I hang out some days with my toddler and my baby, well, they're 1 and 3, whatever that is, my toddlers, and I'll just get bored, but they'll just need to I'll need to help them every 4 minutes. I'll need to help them not fight about their trains. So I'll stand there in the train room and watch them play and be on my phone, and I don't feel bad about that. But I do think I want to try this. You know, we went camping this weekend. It was so nice to just go tech free and just have that feeling that you have, you know what I'm talking about. Pick a few hours every day, ideally the same time every day. Try to make it part of your schedule to just go without and just be present with who you are present with, and make that part of your summer to be present. Number 10, schedule fun and communicate it so everybody can look forward to it. So, for example, my kids, they knew that we were going camping last weekend, and last night I told them I've got to work all day tomorrow, but we're going to do something fun on Tuesday, and then we're going to Mama's house on Tuesday afternoon. So that's super, super fun for them to be, you know, and the older kids can kind of understand that. And even for your husband too, I think if you have some evenings or mornings, especially if you're staying up late or working early, you know, communicate to him when you want to do a day night or when you're going to stay in bed in the morning or whatever it is. Like just the different ways that you're going to find to have fun as a family, to have fun. I never watch TV, but I watch a lot of baseball because that is something that my husband loves to do. And so I will sit and read, you know, probably. But we have one team that we like watching, the Washington Nationals. I'm familiar with them, so I will actually sit and watch them play a game when they're at bat or when Scherzer's pitching. Anyways, very selective on the sports watching, but I've watched enough of that team with him and I know who the people are, and so it's fun. Or I'll sit and read my phone. And that takes some discipline to sit down and do something that's like maybe not my favorite activity, but think about what your husband's favorite activity is, your favorite thing that he likes, and find time to do that with him. And even if it doesn't rank in your top whatever, like marriage is huge. It's huge. It's just core. And today's culture does not really help prioritize it. So just remember that too. And so yeah, my encouragement for you for the summer, I hope those are some tips. And I would just also say find time to be present and prioritize relationship, and then just be smart and think through, keep your motivation, another fun thing, I've started writing my goals every morning and most evenings, at least once a day. I got this from Amy Landino, used to be Amy Schmidt-Tower. Anyways, I love her videos. Watch some of those. But a tip that I got from her morning routine was to write your goals down, and I literally just like write them down in my journal, and then the next day I just write them down again. You just write them down, and it's amazing. It's like and like sometimes they morph a little bit from day to day, and sometimes I'll write down, one of my goals right now is to help 10 people with their analytics accounts, right? So if you look at the other videos in this channel or on my vlog, I'm talking a bunch about analytics. I've been doing it with corporate for a long time, forever, but I'm really excited about just helping some moms on the side and to get some experience. I'm just doing that for free for a few moms, here and there, and my goal is to do 10 this summer. And so I've been writing that down every day, and I've started to find opportunities that I see to offer that. And so I'm already at 5 people. So I'm already halfway there, which we're about to go on vacation for a couple weeks. So that's good, because I'm going to lose a couple weeks. But write down what's really important to you and think about that. And as you keep that in front of you, like whatever you keep in front of you, you're going to think about, and you're going to see the opportunities in life to make that happen. So there are some tips. I love you. I appreciate you. Be blessed, enjoy your summer, and please keep tuning in to my vlog and my channel and let me know what you would like to hear about. Oh, and please subscribe. Thanks.